What's going on, guys? Tonight I got a bubblegum red, 7-pot bubblegum red. Absolutely gorgeous color. Now with bubblegums, typically the calyx has the color bleed into it. You can kind of see it here. It was more predominant last year. But if this is anything like the ones from last year, it's going to be a treat because that was definitely one of the hottest peppers I had all last season. The first and maybe one of maybe two or three that actually had me have tears running down my face. Pods, at least. Some of the other challenges I did definitely had some tears, but this was the only one that actually drew tears to be enough to be dripping down my face. Look at that interior. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up how oily that is, but it is drenched. I remember it tasting wonderful. Tasted wonderful, and it was extremely hot. So give it a try. Mm. It's definitely ridiculously hot right off the bat. Super fruity. It went very, very floral. But still with a very strong fruitiness. It's just immediately a super aggressive burn. This is a painful pepper. This stings so bad. Man, his bubble gums are just out of this world. That is hot. I'd say definitely at least Reaper heat on that. At least. Very similar flavor to a Reaper for these. It's funny because they do have very distinct differences in flavor. This one's very fruity, though. It's one of the biggest differences. Its burn is just so immediately aggressive. It just comes on so quick. You don't even have time to process it. As soon as I swallow, it was just immediately at peak. Let's say it got up to, with how aggressive it is, I'd say that got up to a 7. And it doesn't let up either. It just aggressively just starts attacking. It doesn't give up. It reaches peak It hasn't dropped at all since then. I feel my nose is running. Still just holding solid. It doesn't let up at all. This is definitely as hot as it was last year. I don't think my tolerance was as high last year. Even now, compared to now, which my tolerance is actually down. But since I bit the pepper, the heat hasn't fallen at all. Just a solid, immediately ramped right up to about a 7. And it's just holding there. So fruitiness stayed in my mouth the whole time. Still. Floral was very strong while chewing the pepper. After I swallowed, it actually doled down a little bit and kind of met the level of fruitiness. That's unbelievable. I'm still at the same heat level. That is vicious. That is a vicious pepper. This would tell you about if people didn't know what it was and they didn't have a high tolerance, they'd be wanting to go to the hospital. That's scary hot. Definitely the hottest pepper I've eaten this year so far. Excuse me, pepper burp. And that's saying that even after having the yellow primatale last night. And this blows it out of the water. Hands down. Easily. So it's funny because you expect with that type of heat, or at least I expected my eyes to be running. But it's like ultra intense. It's making my nose run. But my eyes aren't tearing up. Which is really surprising. I feel it traveling all the way down to my stomach. It's a really strong peppery flavor. The floral and the fruitiness kind of dropped off. Now it's just that peppery flavor in my mouth. Very chinenzy. I just felt it drop. That was a substantial drop. It was holding, and then just shot down. I actually feel like I'm getting an endorphin rush from that, which is unbelievable, to be honest. Did not expect that. Man, no matter how many times you have that pepper, it'll take you by surprise every single time. Even you know how hot it is. It still gets you. Okay, it's really starting to light up now. Still is an intense burn. Like, even dropped halfway, I'm still sitting at a 5. Like, stinging just doesn't go away. It stings. It doesn't just burn. It's burning and stinging at the same time. Oh yeah, very warm in the stomach. None of the flavor left in my mouth currently. I'm sure I'll get the flavor when I burp later. But it's still burning. It's hanging on. This is one of those peppers. So I had talked about, had the onset and the decline of the heat. Usually within 10 minutes, I'm up to peak and back down to about 0. And I'm not even close to 0 yet. I'm still holding at least a 3, if not a 4. That is a burner. It's one of those ones you just have to breathe through. Another substantial drop there. Yeah, just real quick dropped off to like a 1. Excuse me, pepper burp. So I don't know if maybe that's just me. I've never had that happen. But last night and tonight, both of the burns would drop off, stop for a minute, and then drop off and stop for a minute. They would drop and then park before it dropped again. As the type of substantial drop that you actually feel. It almost came in waves because it dropping almost felt like the heat was going to completely go away. And then it pops back up and stops it before it keeps falling. I don't know if that's just a weird thing going on with my receptors right now or my taste buds or what. I'm not 100%, but it's still burning. I really feel it in my stomach. It is warm. Wow. Yeah, it's still burning, but it's just barely hanging on. It's just lingering. There's barely anything there, but I can still feel it. That is such an intense pepper. Wow. Well, if you want to experience that for yourself, to know that I'm not playing around. Right here. That's Zetsy. Now, I don't know if he specifically lists that one. I'm not 100%. I haven't seen it, at least not yet. Excuse me, pepper burp. But he may add it on there at some point. And if he does, if you like them extremely hot, snag them up. Because they definitely light a fire. A hellfire. All right, guys, burn daily.